The first of 4 T20 internationals between South Africa and India. South Africa won the toss, put India into bat, and geez, what a batting effort it has been. At the end of 20 overs, India has reached 202 for the loss of 8 wickets, but it's predominantly been the story of one man. One man who has done the bulk of the scoring. He's done more than half of the team total by a good distance. Got his second T20 100, and that too in a row. Got it in the previous game as well. Talking about Sanju Samson, promoted to the opening position, and he has grabbed it with both hands, both his legs. Got a few other people as well to grab it completely, and he has just taken to it like, well, I would like to say fish to water, but I think in this case you have to say like a shark to water, because that's what he's been. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I have 2 sharks here with me. It's just the opposite. two gentle human beings, Zaheer Khan and Dinesh Karthik. Fair to say, Zach, that Sanju Samson is taken to this position like a shark to water.
Well, it was Sanju Samson's show all around.
Yeah.
And you're rightly saying it, because he's definitely taken it to the next level. You know, you can make out full of confidence. You look at Sanju Samson's career, and that will tell you a story. You know, he's been around for a while. It's not that we are talking about someone who is coming to the side right now and looking to cement his place. He's batted at different positions for Indian team. Eventually, when he opened, he got that success right now in the recent time, the 100 which you're talking about, and he's not stopped there. Shows that hunger, shows that want as well, and shows the competition also in the Indian team. You know, so when you get that opportunity and you hit the purple patch, you got to just make sure that you're not leaving it to other. So this is the healthy competition you're talking about. This is the strength which you're talking about in the Indian team. And Sanju Samson will be very, very happy and satisfied because it was long overdue for him to come good at this level. You know, he knows that now a lot of time has passed in his career. So he's going to approach his career with that hunger, with that passion, which is going to be very beneficial for the Indian team for sure.
It's been very beneficial today for sure. He got his 100. And DK, obviously Sanju started his schooling in Delhi and then finished it in the 100% literacy state, because obviously he was studying math and he was studying the 6 table. 10 into 6. 10 into 6. 10 into 6.
He's been a phenomenon. Right from the outset, people have said this guy is talented. Nobody ever denied it. Just like you said, he took to shark to water with his role as an opener. I think when he came and set foot into IPL, he was someone that not many knew about. Rajasthan Royals identified that talent and gave him the opportunity, and he blossomed into something very special. And today he is the leader of that team. But when it comes to the Indian team, he's been plagued with inconsistency over the years, plagued from the from the front of the team, where they have not been able to give him opportunities in a similar spot consistently, and one from his own self where he is not backed it up with scores consistently enough. Even if you notice, a couple of series before in Zimbabwe, he was batting at 6. In Sri Lanka, he got the opportunity to open. Didn't get going very well. The Bangladesh, I think he was coming to that end. That candle was just slowly but steadily firing up the rope. He was just right at the end of it, and that Bangladesh knock turned things around. And it's beautiful to see him, just like what Zach said, grab the opportunity with both hands, because the way the current T20 team is going, it's very hard to get a place. So when you get an opportunity, you got to make it count, and that was very good on his part.
Such a good point that the candle was pretty much flickering at the end. One spark and it's become an inferno. It was an inferno today, definitely at Durban, because he has set, he set the stadium ablaze, and he has pretty much set fire to the bowling analysis of South Africa's bowlers.
Exceptional batting. We did touch upon that in the com box when we were talking about what kind of score Indian team should get to. And I was mentioning the fact that the pitch has not looked like a 200 pitch. You know, there is certainly something for the bowlers if you get in the right areas, if you build that pressure on the batters. But it's just Sanju Samson's brilliance that he anchored that innings and took the game to the opposition. Started brilliantly. and then just continued from there. It's just a classic example of one batter making it count, making it big. Doesn't matter what the conditions are.
Yeah.
You will get to a total which is going to be very, very competitive.
DK, this can happen, right? I mean, people are looking at this, and if they're reading the scorecard on Cricbuzz, they're saying, well, at the end of 14 overs, India was 162. Why have they only added 40 runs after that, right? But the truth is that once a batter like that gets out, I guess everybody below that, their job then seems like just come and swing. And that perhaps tells you how good Sanju's innings is, because that was not easy for the others.
It's a choice, isn't it, today? Whether you want to go hard at the top or you want to just play carefully because the ball is seaming and then do it at the bottom of the innings. I think the choice that India have made is we want to go hard from ball one, put pressure, because the pitch was not easy. Just like what Zach said, it had something for the fast bowlers. They brought on spinners pretty early because both of them didn't match up well to spinners, and understandably. But the fast bowlers had quite a bit happening for them. And India is playing the brand of cricket where they're going so hard at the top and they're backing their middle order to deliver when wickets fall. This is an eventuality that will happen quite a bit. When you go so hard, it's very hard for the middle order batter to come and get going from ball one. If you see all the middle order batters, Tilak Verma, Suryakumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, Rinku Singh, all of them tried to hit a boundary within their first 3-4 balls. And that's always fraught with risk because you have to take on the bowler who has just gotten a wicket or in the middle of a decent spell to hit a boundary with a bit of risk involved. A couple of batters got away, which was Tilak and Surya, but they didn't get going fully. A Hardik and a Rinku weren't able to do it. So this is always going to be a challenge for middle order batters when all you've been told is to go hard all through the innings. So I think India have decided to go hard at the top and they're okay with losing wickets at the end of the innings.
Yeah, it's a really good point, because you can't just keep at that gear for all 20 overs, because then every game, every team is going to get 250. But 202 with this ground should be good enough. I know that the question that a lot of you would ask is, weird dimensions, this stadium, right?
Yeah, Durban is known for that. Yeah. But they used to have a spicy pitch than this, what is on offer right now.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think there is still that extra bit of bounce there, which as a bowler you can utilize. You've seen the quality of spinners also, which India has. They will be able to put some pressure on these batters. Once again, when you're chasing this kind of total, that first 6 overs become very crucial. The new ball is going to be very crucial. Yeah. So that is going to be now the task in hand for Indian bowlers, having scored these runs, which to me, I think is looking a very, very good total. I think they should be able to easily defend that. There's still something for the bowlers. If you back yourself, get the balls in the right areas, that is definitely going to work in your favor. From South Africa's point, it's just that too many bowling options and how you rotate. Maybe they were guilty of the fact that they were not taking the game to the opposition. They were waiting India to make the play, and that's where DK's point comes handy. India was ready to take on the battle. Yeah. They were ready to make the play rather than waiting for it. So that has worked in their favor perfectly, just the way South Africans have utilized their bowling resources.
Yeah, this is what they did, right? I mean, this is what they did. DK, we spoke about this in the com box, Zaheer and I, that in the first 10 overs, they had used all 7 options. Do you think, I mean, we understand that T20 cricket is about not letting the batter settle, but there's a fine line between not letting the batter settle and not letting your own bowler settle.
I think Markram and Co had the plan of bowling spin up front. We saw Marco Jansen, and then the spinners kept rotating. But the one thing that was very evident with the way South Africa have bowled is Indian team didn't play high pace very well, which was Coetzee and Marco Jansen. Whereas bowlers around the 125 to 135, they did have a tough time today. Be it Similani or Patrick Kruger, they had it really hard. And spinners, especially the spinners, accuracy has become so much more that is required today to bowl on T20 cricket. With short boundaries like there are right now in Durban, if you get it slightly short, the batters are going big and it goes a long way. Yeah. So there are some chinks in India's armory right now, but South Africa weren't able to expose it with their current bowling attack.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Gerald Coetzee though, because you've seen him here. He's been at the IPL as well. Was he there the year that you were with MI? No, he wasn't. It was after your time. But how did you think he did today? Because he got the first breakthrough of Abhishek. I think he came to bowl only in the fourth. I think it was the fourth over that he came to bowl in the power play and got that wicket.
Well, he's rapid. He bowls the heavy ball.
Yeah.
And you love to see that aggression in a fast bowler, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's always charged up. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Always thinking of wickets. So definitely X factor impact bowler, and you need bowlers like these with this kind of attitude in this format, because the batter is always going to be looking to go hard against you. So you got to be prepared for the battle, and Koidzi is someone who gives me that impression that he's always up for the battle.
Yeah, with his little Rambo headband, you know that he's come. First blood is what he wants. But Marco Jansen, Gerald Coetzee, both of them were in a conditioning camp the last few weeks. But you can tell one of them's got 3 wickets, the other's gone for a runner ball. We need to find out where this conditioning camp is, DK.
They did use their conditions very well. Use their bounce. Both the bowlers are tall and they hit the deck, especially Gerald Coetzee, whereas Marco Jansen is more a bit of a release bowler. Interesting to see Marco Jansen bowl at the death. Generally, he likes to finish it much earlier. But the one thing that was evident was both those bowlers used their height to good advantage. They hit the deck hard, got the bounce that was required, and that is something that will trouble any batter in Durban, and that could tell you better about it because of the extra bounce that venue has.
But I'm just looking at that South Africa batting lineup, right? I know the highest score at this ground is 191. The highest successful chase has been 191. This is about a dozen runs more than that they need to get. It's not a long batting lineup, but it's a good batting lineup, Zach.
Yeah, it is a good batting lineup. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of power in that middle order as well.
Yeah.
So they will fancy their chances, and like how you've seen with the Indian batting, it's going to be a game where one batter has to carry the innings through.
Yeah.
So if someone from South African batters, they are able to do that, they are able to replicate what Sanju Samson did, then definitely others can rally around them and put bowlers under pressure. We've seen in this format, suddenly that momentum we often talk about, the pressure which we often talk about. If there is a partnership and that partnership is just getting strengthened, at times it gets very hard in this format to restrict the run flow.
Yeah.
So that is the concern when you look at this batting lineup, because 2 guys batting for like 10 overs, 12 overs together, they can take down any bowling attack.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of strength they have. So Indian bowlers will have to be ready for that. Half job done.
Yeah.
You just got to, in that huddle, make sure that you're thinking wickets and you are having that positive outlook.
What is the power play score that South Africa would be looking at, DK? Because 200s, it's big, it's 10 and over. So, 16 your power play is not going to do it. But if you start thinking 75, then that can be counterproductive for you.
You want to walk in thinking that you can get 60. You go in with that mindset, you'll end up getting 70, 75. You think 70, 75, you're taking probably a lot more risk than it is required for you to get set. You get set and maximize the last 4 power play overs. But you try and hit from ball 1 because you've set 75 as the target. You're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah. Indian bowlers, let's have a look at that. In case you missed that, India's bowling 3 spinners. India's got 3 spinners in the 11 today. There's Akshar Patel, Ravi Bishnoi and Varun Chakravarti. So the 2 leg spinners there. And the one left arm quick bowler in Arshdeep Singh. There's Avesh Khan. And of course, the captain will lean on Hardik Pandya. Probably see him up in the power play.
I think so. I think Hardik and Arshdeep to start is something which Surya will be thinking about. Yeah. You have enough runs on board as well. So get that 1 over out quickly as possible. See whether he's able to make that impact. Bring on spinner as early as possible. Because when you have 3 spinners, you will be constantly thinking about making sure that at least 1 over is out in the power play. That will be the thinking. Like I said, Avesh is someone will be utilized through the middle phase of the game. And at the back end of the innings.
You've seen, DK, you've seen Varun Chakravarti, of course, quite a bit domestically as well. And we've seen Akshar Patel bowl in the power play a lot in T20 cricket. Do you think you're going to see both of them in operation in the power play?
100%. I'm very confident that both of them will be seen, especially if Rickleton gets out early. For sure, we'll see a lot more of Akshar. But in case he's batting through, then we'll still probably see 1 over. Varun Chakravarti looks a nominated power play bowler. And I think, as Zach said, Hardik and you'd see Arshdeep start things off, Avesh and over, but definitely the spinners will play a major role. And that's something that that's something that the Indian team have looked to do now in the recent past. Bowl a lot more of Varun Chakravarti through those tough areas, which will be back end of the power play and probably the 16th or 17th over.
They've also got the right-left mix, not as much as India. They've got the right-left mix as well, which in this case is really helping to optimize these, because one side's about, 10 meters shorter than the other? I think it's 58 and 67 odd on the other side.
Yeah,
so 68 actually, 10, exactly 10. So that's an advantage.
One more headache for the captain, isn't it? Because you've got to be very spot on with utilizing your bowling resources, depending on which batter is batting, whether it's a lefty aggressor or a righty aggressor. All these kind of calculations will be going back of his mind. He must have started thinking about when he was batting itself. But those are the small nitty-gritties which Surya will be thinking at this time.
It's stressful, man. It sounds stressful just listening to it. DK, you've done it in T20 cricket. It is that much because, 2 balls can change the game.
One of the most painful aspects of playing on pitches which are, to one side, which obviously gets the boundary bigger, is every over you're assured of one batter having a shorter boundary, and the bowler, you have to understand what the bowler's strengths are and bowl accordingly. Not only the way it turns, but also certain bowlers like bowling outside the off stump. Then those bowlers you can't bowl with the shorter boundaries on the offside. So those kind of things come in. It is a bit of a headache, but one that all teams have to go through, because when you play long tournaments, not so much in bilaterals, but when you play a tournament where you're playing 7-8 games, home games, you end up playing on pitches that are off center, because you can't play on the same pitch over and over again. Then that causes the trouble more often than not.
Okay. That's a lot of insight we managed to pack into a 12-minute show. We're going to wrap it up here, but I'm going to ask both DK and Zach one question. I'm guessing from your tone it's advantage India. What percentage would you like to attribute?
I think I would go 75-25.
Yeah?
Yeah, I still think that there is enough for the bowlers in this pitch. India should be able to defend, so India is 75% favourite.
DK, for you?
Yeah, I thought they got 15 to 18 runs above par, so I'll put India as about 90-10 at the moment. I'm very confident India can deliver.
Oh, wow. He's gone very, very optimistic. Let's see if DK is that optimistic when we do our power play guessing, because obviously in the first innings we all got it wrong. We were all on the 160, 170, 180 kind of mark. Those were our score guesses. Let's see what we can do with the power play. Remember, this is not analysis. This is just a game of luck. It's a game of chance that we're playing. Zach, let's start with you.
53.
53. DK?
64.
I'm going to say 58. That's it. 53, 58.
With 64, he's gone 90-10, India's favour.
Yeah. So
after power play, I'll ask you again now.
He thinks it's all going to be right. He thinks the power play will be fairly lucrative, and then after that they'll lose wickets in the middle part. So that's what DK is thinking. I'm just paraphrasing for him because he's very far away right now. But we will not be too far from you, because we're going to go right now and come back in the com box. That's at the end of the 10th over. 203 is what South Africa needs to get to win the first of these 4 T20Is. Can India defend it at Durban? We shall find out. Right now is all we have time for on Cricbuzz Live. Thank you so much for watching.